I know, I'm just thinking
I think
Keith's,
Keith wants to do it.
yeah, well, it's on the phone,
We're just
but,
trying to do a doctor's appointment, but,
oh,
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah.
her knee got recalled.
Yeah, sounds nasty.
Yeesh.
Question, can you meet Gene Chester late tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah,
All right, should we do it here?
sure.
Send her a message.
Well, I could go
She'll be
ahead
with
and
you in
grab
a moment.
it. Oh, okay.
We can do the signature file, we can start with that.
Yeah, who knows how long. she
Cause
might be.
there's a lot of it, she doesn't need to take
Yeah.
minutes for that.
Oh, we don't have to open the meeting to do that?
No, you have to open the meeting, but
Yeah,
open the
okay.
meeting and,
All right,
4 o'clock.
at 4 o'clock, I will open the select board meeting in Tamworth on Thursday, November 9th, 2023. And until the town administrator steps into the room, we are going to work on our signature file.
okay,
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes November 2nd, 2023.
second. Okay, so, let's just have us do the motions and the whatever through the whole thing. 'Cause
Okay.
then that's easy to write down.
Yeah.
All right, roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
I make a motion to approve the non-public meeting minutes RSA 91A32A November 2nd, 2023.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes? You can-
Uh,
Yes or no?
Prentice, yes.
Good.
Did he say yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna skip over the town warrant until we
Yeah.
talk about it. I make a motion to approve the annual
Yeah.
evaluation of Rick Moreau.
have to get off the phone.
Second.
Are we almost done?
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
I make a motion we approve the yield tax levy map 406 lot 56, 57, 58 for $3,149.76.
Second.
Sure.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Sure. Margaret Meyer.
I make a motion we approve the notice of intent to cut map 14 lot 57, 58.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Make a motion to approve driveway permit for map 401 lot 33.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
I make a motion to approve the payroll in the amount of $43,645.83.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $23,408.62.
Sorry, I
Second.
won't be able to call you at 4:30.
And roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Cash used to date is $9,707,742.51. And that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, you know, we don't have the owl on.
Oh, well,
Okay, there's everything but the warrant.
okay.
This is just a plug-in or a plug-in?
I think it's,
Plug in the bottom.
Mr. Chairman, are you still going into non-public under A?
We will.
oh, I guess we might as well not turn it on. 'Cause
Yeah,
we're gonna go
alright,
to
true.
non-public.
Yeah.
Is that first? Ah,
Yeah.
Okay, so I can go online and vote to decide at 3:59.
Okay.
I clicked my update. She's on Zoom.
I make a motion to go
Alright,
into, what were you gonna say, Carl?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make-
Hi.
Hi.
We just did the signature file.
I make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A 32A.
Second.
Are we zooming this? Do we,
No, it's not, we turned it on, but we didn't mean to turn, it should not
do
be
you,
on.
we
Yeah.
can, no.
Is it going in?
No, because we're going to non-public.
No, I know, but in general, are we zooming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
I seconded it.
You seconded. Roll
Yeah.
call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
We are now in non-public at
404.
4:04.
Fair print people to that resource. Be really good.
All right, this is on. So basically,
We should zoom.
it's a very short Zoom meeting.
Oh, Panthers and Bears.
Be more fun than our meetings.
Yeah.
See that?
Now we don't know which one it is, do we?
Yeah, it doesn't always show up.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
I forgot if it was 1, 2, or 3.
I thought it switched to 2.
Oh, it looks like it might be 3.
Oh my gosh. I think the elves come in at night and
Mess with it.
That's plugged in. Did it go on?
it hooted
It did.
It
Okay.
did a while ago, not
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
be-
There,
during-
con room, there it is.
during non.
So which one, is it 2?
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay.
Was it plugged in? Oh, I plugged it into the wrong computer.
Computer?
That's the problem.
No wonder.
No wonder.
No wonder why.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there's 3, so it's in the middle. It's 2.
Okay. Participants. Okay, we are zooming. All right.
Is this
We're not on TV yet.
Oh, well, that's okay because we're still zooming even if we're not on TV.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I guess I
Did
have,
you ask me for additions to the agenda?
wait, we're gonna come out of non-public.
Oh, yeah.
I make a motion to come out of non-public, under RSA 91-A, colon 3, 2A,
At 4:16.
at 4:16.
My pencil
Second.
ran out of lead.
Roll call
Here, I
vote.
took that. That's what I
You
was
said
saying.
yes?
Thank
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
We are now out of non-public at 4:16.
you. Okay, thank you.
Seal, no seal.
Not sealed.
Minutes
Sealed.
not sealed, thank you. Okay, changes.
I've
Oh.
added a notice of intent to cut
Yeah, we
from
already-
that
we already
414.
approved it.
You already did? Okay, well, I've also would just like to talk about a machine that our maintenance person has requested that I bring to your attention.
Okay,
So that's being added to the agenda too.
oh, that's the agenda.
That's an
Oh,
agenda item.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Under new business, do you want to just do the equipment request now? So
Yeah, sure. Basically, to rent a floor cleaning machine is $400 to $500 per time. To
Wow.
buy it is 15, 16, about 2,000 once you're all said and done with getting the pads and things. You would use it in here, in the library, potentially in the townhouse, police department. So it makes a lot of sense if we want clean floors. I felt that since it was a $2,000 item, it can come out of this year's money. He has enough money, but he would like your authority to do that.
So to buy, not to rent.
Buy, not to rent, because 4 uses and he will have paid
Yeah.
for it.
And then he's also got to drive up to Conway to get it.
Yeah.
Drive back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
I think it's a good thing to have. I used one of the contractors I work for owned one,
Oh.
and we ended up using it quite a lot.
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
mean, wood floors and,
You can use it on wood too,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I bet when you have it, you do use it.
yeah,
Right?
you can put different pads on depending on what you're
Doing. Yeah.
doing. And so
I just try not to just look too close at my floors, but.
I know. I might have to. I need one for my house. Okay.
So I guess we're okay with it.
Okay. Do I need a motion?
This year's,
No, because it's,
it's in his budget, right?
yeah.
No, not. I mean, he has enough money in the budget under the equipment line. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he just
Right.
wanted us to know he's gonna spend
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you.
That's
Okay.
it.
So now we will move on to the town tax warrant.
Which is.
Wow, it's thick.
It's
Yep.
a lot.
Yep. That's every parcel with its amount. That is the warrant.
Yeah.
That's so much paper.
And so, yeah, you all sign, and then I give it to Kim. She verifies the amount is within 0.5% for DRA stipulation.
3.5, you said?
0.5%.
1.5%?
You have this little win, you have up or down.
Oh, up, I see.
Yeah, and then it, and you send out the bills. So we're looking at getting them out, mailing them by Thanksgiving, once they're printed, and,
Wonderful.
yeah.
So the tax rate setting we just did will appear in the future bill, not this one.
No, it's
No,
in
this
the
is
bill.
it.
This
This
one.
one?
Yeah.
I always get confused at the time.
It
Yeah,
is confusing,
yeah, it
so
is.
think
Because
of
it's
it
so
as-
close.
Yeah,
Right, we're working on one while we're setting the rate on the,
Yeah,
so when we
There's
said
a front page of it.
got it.
when we set the tax rate, it was to pay for the amount of money that's still left in this year that you need to cover. So you set the budget in March at the vote, much like we're doing for next March's meeting, and then the tax rate.
And so the July bill is just an estimate. And then the December bill, you settle up.
Right. So if you overpay in July, you pay less, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
Interesting to see the total value of the land getting
402
taxed.
million.
$402 million.
Yeah, and when we get it reevaluated next year, the
Should go up.
equalization ratio right now is 0.62. If it was 100%, that would mean the value and that number were the same. So we're only at 62% of. So next year, when we revalue, that's what's happening, is that's being brought up to the actual market values.
And actually, it says the value is $412 million before you take away the $9 million.
Exemptions and
Exemptions.
credits, yeah. So
Just interesting to think of the context, like the,
Been hogging it.
and that,
you can have it.
and you've already done all the signature files, okay.
Yeah.
We didn't,
Except the
we
tax
didn't do the
warrant.
tax warrant.
We think we
Okay.
should look at it first.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, look at the valuation for Molten Borough sometime.
Oh, I cannot, right?
Unbelievable.
Gazillion.
I mean, there are properties that are worth that.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
often
so we need a
those are summer
motion.
properties, so they also don't cost a full year's worth of services.
Right.
Is it accept or approve? Approve?
Of,
What would the
warrant.
motion be? To approve,
To,
yeah?
or to, I think it's accepted as presented, right?
I don't know the exact.
I think we're
Motion-
accept, I think we're
motion
accepting.
to accept
as
and
presented.
approve the tax warrant.
Second,
Okay,
Do you say yes?
very yes.
Prentice, yes.
thank you.
In all its glory. Okay.
It was, I'm sorry, who seconded?
I
You
seconded.
did.
Boy, it looks like we did everything else. Well, we did the bank balance. No, we didn't.
The bank balance is $2,455,314.
Yeah. Anything else to report?
No.
Okay. Select board update.
I got a couple. I met a couple of days ago in this room with Charlie Townsend just to get an update on his work with the junkyards. And also talk about if there's going to be more code enforcement work. I fear I should tell him about what he's doing. So he's chugging along, and I've asked him to regularly, whatever that means, once a month, once every month, something to just let us know how it's going. Either just get on the agenda or send Keats an email just so we hear what's
Yeah,
happening.
good.
He still has just worked with the big three, one that's licensed, two that are not. I don't think he's worked
Yeah.
past that.
Yeah.
And I gave him a clear message. So long as we see some positive trend, and that's not day to day, but like year to year, that we'll be happy. So if he can achieve that, it'll be a success.
And it sounds like he's doing stuff with them,
Yeah,
which is, I mean, it's a sloggy
yeah.
nightmare through Concord.
In
Right?
particular, I had a little bit of awareness of the title issue. Once you lose track of a title on a vehicle, what happens gets really confusing. And so he's trying to figure that out and help people like
And that's
like
what's
Dave.
happened with
Yeah.
a bunch of them, yeah.
And it's just, I've seen that happen before, and that's why your vehicle sits there in your yard because you don't know what to do with it because nobody will take
Right.
it.
Did you get a sense from talking to him if he would be interested in
I did
further?
it, and he is not.
Okay.
So it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
So that relates to the one item I wanted to bring up is, at the next meeting, I'm hoping we'll approve the code code compliance agent job description and post it. I would like to take the junkyards out of it, for two reasons. One, I just soon have the guy who's doing it keep doing it.
And he's willing to keep doing it?
Yep.
Doing it? Good.
And secondly, it makes the job simpler, because all the other stuff is under one RSA. The junkyards has its own RSA. So all the other stuff, floodplain, subdivision rules and regs, groundwater protection ordinance, that's all under the zoning RSA. So I think that makes it simpler. So just soon do that, just take that out.
That makes sense, great.
A townhouse update. Carl and I are going to meet with Gene Chester, the contractor, on the window rehab tomorrow afternoon. I've drafted a letter to officially accept her bid, which is now almost 2 years old, but just so that we have a clear on paper that the bid's accepted and the work is starting. And then we can report to the Moose Plate folks the work is starting. And then they give us half the money. And then when we're done, they give us the other half. Rick got a great estimate to do the windowsill, the rotten windowsill.
Oh, good.
And I was shocked that it was somebody who was like right down the street and does this kind of work. I never heard of them, but I'm just psyched we got an estimate. I don't know if it was for 1 or 2 windowsills. Do you know?
That's for one,
Yeah,
I believe.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I think we all realize that it's $1,000. That once you look under that windowsill, there's going to be more work to do.
Yeah.
So we were going to ask him, hey, could you peek in there before the end of the year, because it's only $1,000. If it's going to be more, we need to change that.
So we can
That
encumber
bid.
those funds.
So we can encumber all the money. Because I'd be surprised if there's more under that really punky windowsill. Fire escape.
Oh.
Yeah. Rick has finished the repairs. He just sent me more pictures. It looks beautiful, at least on my phone. And the thing that I was unsure of is the tall columns that hold up the landing is, like all columns, they're hidden behind trim boards, and is there rot in there? And he said he probed in there and they're fine. And they're pressure treated. Finally he found some pressure treated wood in this thing. So he feels it's done.
Great.
So I communicated with Phil Bennett, the architect who was working on the design, and about an hour ago I told him that he's done. And he's fine with that. That send us your final bill. He spent maybe $5,000 out of a $14,500 contract. Rick's work will be $1,000 or $2,000 probably for materials. So there'll be a good chunk of the $29,000 from last year's warrant article unused and go back into the.
And we've got plans in case we ever need to think about it again.
Yeah.
While we're talking about the finances of
Yep.
that whole thing, in February of this year, we voted $18,000 of the ARPA money to be used for the townhouse, and then the petition article came in. So I'm gonna put on next week's agenda to release that 18.
I saw your
Yeah.
email, there were a few things we
Yeah.
need
Yeah,
to
can
release.
release, but just since you're in the middle of
Yeah.
that.
Because I misread your email, I thought that was the septic system of the water at the transfer station.
No.
So, okay, that's good
No.
to know.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. So, one thing that I'd like maybe to look at with you, Carl, at some point is the posts on the upper landing at the townhouse. They just look small.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder if it would be advisable to put some diagonal braces to make it a little stronger. Because the only time it's ever going to get used, a couple dozen people are going to be charging out the door.
Yeah.
And if you put some bracing on it, it can't hurt.
Yeah, might be a good.
I don't know if it's necessary, but it can't hurt.
Yeah,
Because if it was built now, I would think you would think it would be a 6x6, not a 4x4. But I don't really know.
well, in that direction, wood has a surprising strength.
Yeah.
I hold a whole house up with a 4x4.
Wow. Because you see a lot of 4x4s holding up fire escapes, but it always looks skimpy to me.
Yeah, in that direction, they're very strong, but
That's
it's,
good to know.
but bracing them so they don't
Yeah.
move is a good idea.
Because
so-
then if one buckles, it won't move.
Yeah,
So I'll mention that to Rick, and maybe in the spring he can do that.
yeah,
So I will go in, and one of us will go in and alter the job description and take junkyards out of code compliance agent, and that's it. I'm done.
I have nothing to report.
We had a public hearing last night for the planning board's subdivision regulations, and it was actually attended, which was really nice.
So a lot of cars
My
here.
whole household went there.
Yeah, your whole household went. We had a couple people on Zoom, and you know the most interesting thing about it. There've been a couple of times now in the 2 years I've been on the planning board, a year and a half, where, and Paul King is a great resource for this. The planning board is like a quasi-judicial board, whereas the select board is not. So the rules of process are like they're very specific and like things that you
Particularly in a hearing.
yeah, but I mean even after the hearing, so you could have a hearing where you're gathering information, you're giving the public a chance to talk about something, you know, like the personnel policy. And then we could make a motion to say, we accept the changes as discussed in the hearing and move on. You can't do that. If there are changes made, you have to revise the draft and let people have a chance to see it in its new form. And we were talking about substantial changes, and if it's a spelling change or a capitalization change, it's not substantial. Basically anything else is. Like if you change wording, like 3 words, you could be altering the meaning. So that was an interesting learning experience. So we had that meeting, and then I had to spend today putting the changes into the document, and we will post another hearing. But the planning board did a huge amount of work making revisions. But Gabrielle brought up an interesting question. She was saying, you know, what was driving the revisions. So, for instance, the personnel policy, what was driving the revisions is that we were out of step compared to a lot of towns around us, and in a competitive job market, it made sense to make sure we were not the lagging town. And we also had other, like languages outdated and whatever else. That was kind of the same thinking behind doing the subdivision updates, that through use of the regulations, the planning board had seen like consistent patterns where something should be tweaked for smoother use. But it wasn't driven, the changes weren't driven from an ideological point of view or from a strategic planning point of view. They weren't making changes to make Tamworth more attractive to development, for instance. And, you know, I don't know, I know that the purview of the master plan is the purview of the planning board. And I know that kind of massive strategic planning on a community level takes a huge amount of bandwidth. But it seems that it's recommended that you revisit your master plan every 10 years for a reason. And we're
We're at 15.
We're at 15. So I think it would have been great to be able to say, yes, we updated the regs because we wanted to make them more user-friendly and in legal compliance, but also because they are working from a vision that the planning board has. And we couldn't say that part.
Yeah.
So,
You can always redo them again after the.
yeah, I mean, you can redo them, and that's what I was trying to say last night. That, you know, we should be looking at this stuff all the time.
And the one real substantive change was less frontage for a new lot. It was 200, it's gonna be 150 feet. So that was the one specific change. The rest was really just, I would call it somewhat minor editing, but still important.
Yep, so that was it.
Any update on personnel?
Oh, yeah, I did hear back from the attorney. So they said, don't be alarmed when you look at the draft and see the redlining. I have not looked at the draft yet to see what it looks like. She said, you know, you guys made a lot of changes and additions and deletions, so we went through it thoroughly, and she said, frankly, it was good timing because our draft had a lot of kind of outdated elements. So we have, Keats and I have they've blocked out 2 hours, a 2-hour Zoom meeting
Is that on Tuesday?
Tuesday from 9 to 11. just to go through to make sure we understand their advice.
Good.
Yeah, so we'll be back
With
next
more.
next Thursday with an update on what to do next.
One planning board related thing I wanted to mention is, I've been reading through the old subdivision rules and regs and the groundwater protection ordinance and the floodplain development ordinance. And one thing I noticed in the floodplain ordinance, it indicates that the select board, I believe it identifies us, will develop forms and a process for people to submit an application under that.
Application to do what?
For development within the floodplain. And my inclination is to bounce it right back to the planning board. That, I don't think that's enforcement of, they could do that, we don't have to do that, so I just wanna let you know that I'm gonna read that again, make sure I understand what it's saying, and say, listen, I think when you're done with the subdivision rules and regs, can you guys fix that?
But do we have that already? I mean, the floodplain ordinance has been here since
Right,
the.
and nobody's ever done anything with it, in his 8 years on the planning board, Sheldon's never seen an application, so.
Yeah,
And in the document, there's no direction on what an application is.
and one doesn't exist somewhere in this.
Not in this town, I don't know what any other town does. I just know that the planning board should have done it, in my opinion,
Yeah,
and not bounced it to the select board. Unless the RSA says we have to do it.
yeah,
Because we certainly have to do implementation and enforcement, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
we have to develop the forms. So, at some point I'll mention that to Sheldon. That's it.
Okay. Any public input? It says non-public here, but there is no.
No, that's just,
Okay.
We
All
might-
right.
the
there.
space.
Yeah, done. All right,
adjourn?
adjourned. Motion to adjourn at 4:36 PM.
See you next week.
Awesome.
Meet again.
Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it, to get this done. If you can, she'll be delighted.
David Little is the one I would talk to,
Yep.
just to ask him about, the creation of he had to have been
You would
involved.
think. He's
and-
working with the planning board on the groundwater map. So he's very much involved in what they're doing. So
And the original subdivision regs and the original applications and the personal wireless tower, whatever it's called, the cell tower, or like all those applications,
that makes sense.
he was involved in all of their creation. So if one exists, or if there's any knowledge about that application process, why it did or didn't get created, he's the one who will know.
Because I was going to talk to him some more about the groundwater map.
Yeah, just I would roll that into the conversation.